guys, Kizzy Bug here. I know it's been a long time since I did a speak out video for you guys. Today I decided that I wanted to revisit the Boogie interview where he interviewed KidBehindACamera. And I just want to discuss a couple points in this video. First point being, he starts out the video forgetting what they were talking about after saying he was fine with anything that is asked of him. Is that him trying to make a joke out of the interview? Or is he trying to use a distraction tactic to avoid talking about it in the first place? They start out talking about clickbait. Please, who the hell cares about clickbait? That is irrelevant to anything going on as far as abuse allegations that were being made. He tries to play off his videos as skits and sketches. He uses the word exploit, and even Boogie catches on to that word, but then he spins it over to the mastermind explaining his father's death. Then cue the manipulated piano music. He claims he doesn't design merchandise. However, he has said he designed some merchandise and videos before. He claims that he didn't want to sell the merchandise, but that his father asked him to do it because he knew he was sick and he wasn't going to be around much longer. But somehow I see that as BS because the mastermind loves his money. Boogie talks about his abusive past, even though this interview was not about him. The focus should have stayed on the mastermind at all times. The mastermind says that his older sister and his brother were abused by the dad. The mastermind says, define the word abusive. He said he never hid that his father was abusive to them. He goes on to say his father jacked his sister up against a wall for ripping up $1,000, but was never excessive as people seem to claim. Such as he never used weapons and stuff on his children. He talks about being poor, but he claims that Boogie is right, that it is an excuse. He said the father was pissed off because of the alcoholism and being overweight, and then goes on to say the father quit drinking around 94 and 95. The subject changes to giving money to charities. Again, what does this even have to do with all the allegations being made against the mastermind and the father for abuse? Boogie goes on to compare his abusive mother to the mastermind's father. And outside her abusing him, she was giving to everyone outside the house. Boogie says that the father was good to everyone else but not to the children. The mastermind said that he was only not great to the oldest two children. He claims he was at the epitome of his alcoholism when the brother was born, and when the older sister was born, she was just another mouth to feed, thus putting more pressure on an already poor family to survive. The mastermind claims the father had custody of all the grandchildren until the day he died. The mastermind claims that the father went to every PTA meeting, award ceremony, every parent-teacher meeting, and that the schools loved him. The mastermind claims that they had a standing appointment with DCS and that thousands of people called monthly and that they never closed the case because of all the calls coming in. He now has full custody of the children until his sister can prove she could take care of the kids herself. And he goes on to say that DCS had to respond to the calls as it is their job to do, but they never took the kids away, and then says it's abuse to the children because they've had to be pulled out of class to speak to DCS about the allegations. He says he wasn't abused as a kid. He was the golden child. He says the father wanted to give him everything that he and his siblings didn't have growing up. He spoiled his grandkids. The subject changes again to speaking about how the mastermind doesn't have much money saved because he takes care of everyone in his family. Again, not even relevant to the allegations that he was supposed to be addressing. Subject changes to where Boogie asks the mastermind if the stuff he buys the kids isn't because there is something awful going on or some hidden abuse. The mastermind asks, is that what people are saying? Boogie asks if DCS is still involved. The mastermind replies, dude, people are calling more now than ever. The mastermind blames concerned people as being trolls on the internet. Mastermind changes the subject to talk about his girlfriend and how people are saying they need to go on a diet and that he views those comments as being a troll And then he does his homework. He goes to people's profiles on Twitter and scrolls through their Twitter feeds to look for comments that seem trollish. Subject changes to how the mastermind and his girlfriend fight on camera, and Boogie asks if it's worse off camera. Again, still not relevant to the allegations. Still continuing on about the girlfriend, Boogie asks the mastermind if he has ever hit his girlfriend. The mastermind says that he never has hit his girlfriend and that his father has raised him to never lay a hand on a woman. Funny, because older videos show the father raging and physically assaulting the mom at times. He admits to breaking things when he is angry and acknowledges that it is not okay. He admits to having anger problems, but again says that he's never gotten to the point he would lay his hands on his girlfriend. An important thing to note here at this point is that he says he has a fight or flight complex. PTSD for someone who claims to have never been abused, or even PTSD for someone exposed to abuse. You decide. He goes on to say he doesn't flight, so he stays for the fight then. Another thing to note is that he admits to saying troll things to his girlfriend when he's angry, and even goes so far as to tell her things people say about her. Then he says she doesn't deserve it, and he apologizes. He goes on to say his father was verbally abusive to his mother. Boogie in return says the mastermind's father's behavior did change once they were out of the trailer park and had money. Yeah, his behavior changed because he wanted partnership with YouTube. But look here, folks, being poor is absolutely no reason or excuse for abusing people. So while we're on this topic, let me point out right now that the household was riddled with abuse. You see it in the old videos. You hear him speak about how his father was to the mother and his older brother and sister, and now he's going to flip the script? No thank you, mastermind. Cue the waterworks. I swear to God, his tears and crying are not genuine at all. Manipulative to me. His nervous laughter, his body language screams not serious at all about the subjects being brought up. Apparently the father was not racist, and the Border Patrol video is a skit. Yet he goes on to say the father's mother was indeed a huge racist. He's going to sit here and tell you that that did not rub off on the father? Yeah, right. Get real. I believe he changed from being a homophobic and racist just for that YouTube money. He goes on to talk about the video where the nephew was called homophobic slurs from the father and tries to play it off as it was just played up for the camera. He tries to say the father went off to Woodstock and that it gave people a ride in the civil rights movement. Roasted Studios was able to debunk that lie. If you haven't done so, go check out her channel. This story is a huge lie. He was not in a newspaper. Where do the lies stop? Then he goes on to use the Trayvon Martin shooting as an example of the father not being racist because off camera he cried. I still don't believe it or buy into that either. Closing statement from the mastermind when Boogie asks him if he wants to speak to the people on his platform. The mastermind decides to turn to clickbait. Honestly, again, who cares? Address the abuse, mastermind. Don't paint the father as a hero. What about the abuse inflicted on your mother, brother, and sister? What about all the abuse your nephews had to have seen living with all of you guys? To garner more sympathy and using a known manipulation tactic, he plays a voicemail from the father before he passed. Now look, I realize that losing a loved one is very hard for anyone, especially a parent or even a child. And I'm sorry for his loss of his father, but I'm not fooled by this, and neither should you be. He would rather you think the father was this nice, sweet little old man, and he would rather you not focus on any abuse claims. The subject has changed so many damn times, it's ridiculous. Boogie could not keep him focused on the abuse other than the mastermind trying to make some piss-poor excuses, like trying to become big on YouTube so money would roll in. Remember this, he made money off abuse. Plain and simple. Those old videos were far from skits, sketches, or whatever he likes to call them. And then after playing the voicemail, he starts crying, and meanwhile Boogie is holding his hand over his own face. Then Boogie tells Swift to pause on the filming. The interview resumes, and he is upset about all the people accusing his father of abuse allegations. And once again says it's the most hurtful thing because his father did a lot of good things. I'm not saying that the father didn't do nice things. I'm sure he did. But I'm pissed that they skirt over this by saying we didn't see all the nice things the father did. You can't post abusive content on a platform like YouTube and not expect people to call you out on the content when it sure shows abuse. If you didn't want the world to know your family secrets, then you definitely don't share it on social media platforms for all the world to see. But he did, and now he can't handle the flack that is coming his way about all those videos. He talks about the mother having a big breakdown in 2001 and stated that DCS came out and told the father that they were going to remove the kids because they didn't want the kids around the mother. So he says before that the father and mother had made up, but after that he chose the children over the mother, which is fine and understandable. I feel like he's blaming the divorce entirely on the mother because he's claiming she wanted out. Maybe she did. But when it comes to divorce, it takes two people to break a marriage, and no doubt the abuse that she suffered by her husband of 30-some years played a huge role in it. So hey, mastermind, it's not entirely her fault, and I think you should hold your own father and yourself responsible. And the reason why I say the mastermind in all of this was his constant need to film them during inappropriate times and to film their disagreements, which is nobody's business, frankly. Not to mention snitching on the mother to get the father to react negatively and abusively. Back to the kids again. He says that people calling DCS over made-up allegations does not hurt only him, but it hurts the kids and its views. It's not made-up allegations. It's allegations based on what is depicted on the videos. Subject switches back to trolls on Twitter and YouTube, not relevant in any way, shape, or form. Then he talks about taking care of his family and giving to charities. Boogie goes on to say he feels a kinship with the mastermind because of their abusive past, and that he believes the mastermind to be a good person who does bad things sometimes. And then the subject goes back to the talk of the girlfriend being fat. He's trying very hard to spin away from the abuse allegations. He never once addressed a damn thing, people. Some of the best rage videos you've ever seen, Boogie? Are you serious? How can you sit there and play it off like it's nothing? As an abuse survivor, Boogie, you dropped the ball big time. You honestly disappointed me and a lot of other people by sympathizing to all of this. I don't know how or why you chose to do that. Those rage videos were real abuse, and you let your friend deflect and distract you from getting to the real truth out there. So you lash on people who are completely honest, mastermind? You think people giving constructive comments and feedback is trolling? I don't think everyone is a troll. You just don't like hearing the truth from people. You don't like to take accountability for anything. Take ownership. Address the abuse in your videos. Now, I decided to rewatch this because the first time around I was pretty livid. I felt like my initial reaction was Boogie just glossing over everything, just sympathizing, whatever you want to call it, because of his friendship. And using your own abuse stories to correlate with his is disgusting, Boogie. Like, you addressed the stuff your mom did to you and how it made you feel, but at the same time, you know, you love her and you go see her and etc., etc. Okay, fine. But when you're going to do a serious interview, you don't focus on yourself. You focus on the person, the subject of what your interview is about. And you don't sit there and say you're going to go hard as nails and then go soft and let him deflect and distract the audience because he really didn't address anything. Anyways, guys, these are my final thoughts, and I wanted to share them with you. And I literally watched the whole video and typed all this out, you know, the valid points anyways that I wanted to make, so that I could talk to you guys about this. I don't know if you all caught all of these different points when you watched the video. Anyway, I just wanted to share what I feel about it. I feel it's all disgusting. I feel like it's him distracting and deflecting and not addressing any abuse, when obviously there was abuse. And I'm going to stick to that. Anyways, guys, I love y'all lots, and I will talk to you later. Bye.